Meanwhile, the Edo State government has suspended the commander of its security outfit, retired Commissioner of Police Friday Ibadan, following a preliminary report on the extrajudicial killings of 16 travelers in the Esso, northeast local government area of Uromi. The decision comes amid growing concerns over the actions of unauthorized vigilante groups operating in the region. A statement issued by the Secretary to the state government, Musa Ikilo, confirmed that all illegal vigilante groups have also been suspended. The statement further clarified that the members of the vigilante group involved in the killings were neither profiled nor registered with the state's official security corps as required. It was revealed that 14 suspects have been arrested and investigations are ongoing. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Edo State is calling on Governor Monday Okpebholo to implement effective and decisive measures to address growing security challenges in the state. In a statement, the party urged the governor to take immediate action to overhaul the state security corps and remove any unregistered members or groups. The PDP, through its publicity secretary, Chris Nehikare, criticized the governor's handling of the situation, accusing him of neglecting the safety of the people and failing to take adequate steps. The party stressed the need for the governor to seek assistance from federal security agencies to prevent the situation from escalating further, as it poses a serious threat to lives and property. Frank Tietie, a lawyer, joins and Arise News analyst. He joins us in the studio to discuss this particular matter. Frank, glad to have you join us. An overview, what's your general sense of this? Is it the government not being proactive? Is it laxity on the part of the government? What's your overall view of this incident?
I think it's systemic. It's another systemic failure. The fact that we don't have a system that encourages or that actually statutorily recognizes local policing. So it's a void, it's a vacuum that has been filled by unauthorized persons, non-state actors, whether they're acting as vigilante or they're acting as protectors of community, as we have often seen, that the government doesn't even have any record of generally. So it's that vacuum that's a problem. And again, it shows that we're missing it when a system, federalizes a police system, because it means that even the state governor can't be responsible for effectively policing localities like in a place like Uromi in Edo State, where non-state actors, where persons who pose as vigilante simply are swept, by the raging enemy of kidnapping, and then decide to vent their anger and then by making some persons, innocent persons, presumably innocent persons, traveling from the northern part of Nigeria as scapegoats to the point of killing them in such a gruesome manner. It's a reflection of what's going on across the entire country, to which I believe very strongly that the matrix by which our leaders operate makes them somehow, disconnected from what's going on. There is a rage on the part of persons, especially in Edo State, the southern part of Nigeria. It's okay that in the western part of this country, we've seen some kind of, Amotekun being established, so with some sense of responsibility, but it's different. And again, I see a sense of repetition of history here, because just about 20 years ago, this was what we experienced in places like in eastern Nigeria. I'm talking particularly with Onitsha, that even spread to other parts of Delta. And I experienced it too, where Bakassi boys operated as if they were law unto themselves, carrying out all forms of extrajudicial killing to contain a menace at that time, which was seen as armed robbery. In this case, we're talking about kidnapping. So because of that vacuum on the part of government, so that, where it cannot, have a system where it can provide local policing. So it's a failure. It's a systemic failure indeed.
Now, help me understand this. It sounds confusing to me. The Edo State government has suspended the commander of its security outfit. But then along the line, it says that the members of the vigilante group involved in the killings were neither profiled nor registered with the state's official security court. I don't understand.
No, you see, vigilantes actually are set up mainly not by state government, but oftentimes by localities, communities most of the time.
Without the knowledge of the government?
Oh, man, yes, indeed. Most of the time. In fact, near most of the time. To the best
Amotekun is
Amotekun is different. You see the high profile, manner in which Amotekun was set up. Governors coming together, setting up a template with agreements, and then informing the federal government. No matter how uncomfortable the federal government was at that time, there was the assurance because there was a need. The governors couldn't stomach the fact that the constitution deprived them ability of setting up proper police force. So in that case, they needed to have a sort of arrangement. So it was novel, and it was quite commendable on the part of the governors of Southwest Nigeria at that time. But you see, this idea of vigilante, and I told you, and I stand to be corrected. In my lifetime, I trace it back to what happened then, prevalently in Onitsha, because of armed robbery. And then, and again, we suffered the loss of Barnabas Igwe and the rest of them because we saw some vigilante people, unknown persons, killed Barnabas Igwe, then NBA chairman, yes, yeah, of Onitsha branch, and all of that. I witnessed it personally in my own town. I didn't want to refer to it in Ughelli Delta State, where the police practically at that time, I in 2005, gave up, and you didn't have to go to the police station. You went to the police station said nobody was going to answer you. You had to go to Bakassi boys to resolve. You make complaints to them, complain of insecurity, complain of marital problems and all that. So they took over. It's an anomaly, and like I said, it's a growing anomaly. And that's why I'm shocked that it's repeating itself, because all you need to have is a gargantuan problem like kidnapping, and then the state security apparatus falls apart. And then the point is that you actually make a governor irresponsible, you make a local government chairman irresponsible when you deprive them of the opportunity of being able to own, set up, fund, and operate a formal police force according to law.
All right, the government has suspended the head, or the commander rather, of this vigilante group, former police commissioner, a retired commissioner of police, Friday Ibadan. Is it, what's your sense of it? Too late?
No, I simply think it's a face saver. And it's a political action, indeed. You can't see this widespread condemnation of what has happened in Edo State, from on a national scale, and the governor governor needs to use someone as a scapegoat.
Suspects have been arrested. Investigations. What do you expect from the investigations?
I expect that, yes, if there's an arrest, because there were videos of the event and persons were actually identified, and if those were the persons that are identified, I hope that we move ahead to actually, take them to trial and then have them, dealt with according to the law.
The NEF has said that they're asking for apology within 2 weeks.
I think that we should stop treating these things as regional issues. These are human beings, and these are Nigerians. I was going to ask sad.
You, what value do we place
No. It's very sad when we politicize these things. What we should politicize, it's responsibility to protect our people. So the idea is that let's politicize the fact that you are governor and you should have the responsibility of protecting people. If you fail, then lose the next election. And that should be across board, across the entire country, and not necessarily because Edo State is in the eye of the storm at this time.
Because it is sad.
No, it shouldn't be so. It shouldn't at all be so. And I'm happy the president wasn't silent about this. This is a matter that has to do with the president being directly responsible. It's not even a Kano State issue, because these guys, the persons that died are prevalently from Kano. These are Nigerians, and they should so be treated and be treated as human beings. And it's not the time to play, cheap politics of saying, give us an apology. Apology to what extent?
But the governor,
what has happened in Edo State,
yes, has come out to say, let the people of the state be calm.
Indeed. You see, it's a time for national soul searching. Why would policing, security be left to non-state actors, ragtag, people that are unknown? just because they have been recruited by the community to provide one form of security. Why? Because kidnapping has been prevalent, unrelentlessly in that area, and then there has to be a response. And then for some people, and I don't understand the psychology of this, of how it happens, that let's actually use some people as example. Let's even vent our anger on some persons, and then they think they can do it with some persons that are unarmed, that are innocent. That's quite unfortunate. Now, this calls for extreme national soul searching. Let us think clearly. Shouldn't we really have local police system? Why do we say we operate the federal government and then we copied it from somewhere like the United States, where you have a local sheriff that is responsible for whatever happens in a small locality, in a county, or in a village as we have it here? And then in our own case, we want to concentrate everything about policing in the hands of the federal government, so that because we are afraid that some people will pull apart from the country. No, we are together in this country as a matter of necessity, because it's better than being alone, not by force. So let's use this opportunity to bring out the best in our security architecture, and we can actually do it.
Well, there are pros and cons for state police. We see how that plays out. Thank you
it's
so
no
much.
option. It's no option. I assure you it's no option. As the way things are going.
Frank Tietie, Arise News analyst, and of course, a lawyer.